What is good, ladies and gents? Hope you're doing alright and everything is going well for you. We are carrying on. So, the world gets slightly more crazy by the day. So we've pulled out from the prototype dry box the 3 plants that were in a 15 litre fabric pot. Basically they were just I grew them all in 1 litre kind of fabric pots, and then when I took them out into the garden, out to the wild gardens, I took them and planted the 1 litre pots. I won't do that one again. That was it's not a clever idea. It kind of bonsais the tree, or bonsais the plant growth. So take them out of the pots. Don't plant them like the original little white grow bag things that I germinate them in. The fabric pots are too thick for the roots or whatever. So from stock that I hadn't taken out to the wild gardens, I planted 3 of them into a 15 litre fabric pot, just let them grow, and they have yielded 3 litres or 2 1.5 litre jars, which is not too bad for pretty much what they were. Fairly easy to grow and just did their own thing. The unfortunate issue was that mould, botrytis mould got all over them and destroyed patches of the flowers, and I think I've probably lost, to mould this year, I think I've lost somewhere in the region of about 15% of the total of the flowers grown. So a little bit disappointing, but never mind. It is what it is. At least we have some. Unfortunately, I've already smoked all of the orange blaze maize. So I've smoked those 3 plants. They didn't finish properly, so they were alright. But to be fair, I think if they had, if the season had been nicer and they were grown in an indoor condition, with constant light and whatever, they probably would have done a lot better and produced some quite nice flowers. But growing them outdoors didn't seem to work so well, though the season was pretty terrible. So the rest of the plants from the wild gardens, they are currently still drying, and I think tomorrow, it's either tomorrow or Friday, I think it's actually tomorrow, that have been 2 weeks drying in the prototype dry box. The dry box has done quite well. I mean, technically it's not actually the dry box itself, it's the AC affinity extractor fan that I use, because that has a whatever it is for humidity, whatever that sensor is, and a thermostat, so it will tell you what the temperature is inside the box, or whatever container that the probe's in, and it will then regulate to whatever you set it at. So I've set it to 20 degrees and a humidity of 62, and when the humidity goes higher, the fan turns on, extracts the humid air, replaces it for fresh air. When the temperature gets too high, it turns on and extracts the hot air and replaces it with fresh air to maintain it. Yeah, so it's done quite well. It smells pretty good. It's an interesting smell. It's fucking hell. It's getting to that time of season. See what happens. It's a sniffly season. So it's warm and cold, and warm and cold. So your body adjusts to the changing of the seasons. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, so it's an interesting smell. It's like really strong kind of grapefruit, and smells like kind of like a sweaty gym bag, sweaty socks, body odour, that type of sweaty body odour type smell, with like a grapefruit that's been sprayed over the top of it to try and mask the smell, but because the grapefruit is really quite grapefruity and acidic, you can still smell that kind of like BO type smell. And it's sativa, so the main part of the Gen 4 heritage hierarchy heirloom I forgot the fucking word. Its genetics are predominantly sativa, so the effects are according. It's quite nice. I look forward to getting the rest out and then into jars so I can start curing. It smells quite potent. I just for the last few seasons that I've been growing, though the active component is only in the trichomes, and not in the bud itself, you're trying to get rid of that hay smell. It's been a bit of a puzzle to me. I've been kind of researching with the limited ability that I can on YouTube, because all the videos are age restricted, so mostly it's now reading again. Back to reading posts and various different things to try and figure it out. The controlled dry of it being in a controlled environment, I guess, of humidity between 50 and 60, and temperature between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius, and if you maintain it as that for 2 weeks to dry, that hay smell will go away. So I thought just sticking it in laundry bags and putting it in an airing cupboard, that would do, or hanging it up on lines, that would do. But it appears if you want to get rid of it, a slow controlled dry seems to work well. That's a surprise, I'm sure, to anyone. We have set ourselves up the ability to dry now, whereas before, not working so well. And all the terpene smell would kind of go, and it would just leave this kind of like hay smell. Still get like stoned, but because it's from the trichomes, but the taste would be grassy. Yeah, a little bit's come from looking at how tobacco is fermented, and fermenting literally just means letting the leaf turn yellow, either by leaving it on the plant until it turns yellow, like kind of any leaf does as it gets older, or picking it when it's green and allowing it to change yellow without drying out. I think the most common methods of that was like wrapping it up in tea towels and letting it slowly dry and turning leaves and whatever. It's a similar kind of thing. Is that green is the chlorophyll that's inside, so the more the chlorophyll that the plant can get out of it by changing colours, as it gets to the end of the season, the leaves all start to change colour and go pinks and purples and whatever colours that they're going to go. And when it's kind of at that stage, Also, along with the colour of the trichomes being kind of orangey colour, seems to be a relatively good time. But unfortunately, I've had to kind of harvest some of the plants a bit earlier than I wanted to anyway, because of the mould. So having no plants and a shit ton of mould didn't sound too much fun, so let's harvest it. Yes, all of it's on, I'll just see if you want to see. Again, just these videos is all I'm going to put up here, because there's no point me putting up any of the weed grows, because they will be age restricted. Oh. YouTube rendering itself useless by the day. So hope you're all enjoying the craziness of the world. And again, here where I am at, you got a couple of people putting shit back on their face. The shops, all the barrier shit that they had up, like the clear see-through barriers around the checkouts and whatever, have all been removed. All the stuff that they drilled into the actual checkouts, like where you have a person who has a job to scan all your items and do that, who is slowly being replaced by self-service. All over the normal checkouts, they have still got it up, but that's all like kind of drilled in to the checkout itself. So I guess it's a bit more difficult to move than plastic screens and shit. And that's all come down. Though, in saying that, they did it before and they left it down for a couple of weeks and then put it all back up again. But this is the second time it's come back down. Shit on the shelves. Little patches still here and there. All the staff are still the same. Same staff I've seen the entire time. Same for the rest of the town. And yeah, aside from almost like the leftover decorations, everything seems to be basically normal for all intents and purposes. It is reminiscent of like the decorations have been left up and the season has long since passed. Because so many decorations were put up, not all of them have been taken down. But yeah, that's what I see. Yeah, like 99%. Say that, so the number dwindles. Of people I know who have received their second visit. They're all still fine. A couple of people starting to complain that they're getting all snotty as the season comes along, so we'll see what happens with that. But generally, I can only go off what I see, not what all the shit that's floating around on the interwebs and all the videos and all the rest of it. It goes along with the season of joy and happiness that has been the last nearly 2 years. So all I can say is that so far I haven't really seen anything that they said that is going to happen, be that for the good or for the bad. Obviously the creeping and lurking things of requiring your papers to go out and do stuff, but to be honest with you, it's a bit of a false illusion, because most places in the town anyway that were offering kind of service really is only big corporation chains. All the littler shops closed down. The market's still going, it's still running, but even with the market, you can see patches and stuff which they've either sold out of very quickly and don't have any more of, or didn't have it in the first place. But yeah, so in the name of the deceptive game of see that no one deceives you, we will see, because yeah, I can tell you this much: of all of my interactions of seeing coppers out and about in the town, around the place, driving around doing whatever they go and do, I haven't seen them. I haven't had a single one talk to me. Even walking in and out of the shops. Obviously, I don't cover my face up because I don't play this game, and not partaking in this season game. Yeah, even they've not said anything to me. Nothing. And obviously now, because there's people are, well, they've relaxed the restrictions, but more people have just stopped doing any of it. Yeah, they wouldn't really have a reason. But I don't know. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know. It kind of feels a bit like slow drip torture. They're saying, oh, soon you'll, they're going to have the your papers, please, on your phone to be able to go and do stuff. But what if all that stuff is closed down shortly after? It'll be interesting to see things like all those businesses which have had to shut and put all their staff on furlough. Oh, I don't think they'll be operating again, so I'm sure there's going to be lots of people who find themselves without jobs, and then I'm sure along will come some kind of job market that will assist into progressing with the plan. And but we'll see. We'll see ultimately what happens, because at the moment, yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Obviously I put out that the Christmas hits mRNA Christmas hits 2021. Not so sure. For all of the information that I see contradicts everything that I see in the real world out here. So all of these people getting sick, I don't know anyone, not one, who has got sick from anything, be that the visits, the 2 visits, or be that just in general, all the same faces still. I've overheard many conversations of various people, not that are my friends, not that I really know, but overhearing conversations of people around that I recognise, shall we say. Yeah, they're not keeling over or anything like that. Power's all still on. Still food there. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, it's just interesting. How the two can so be parallel to each other. Because they're certainly not on the same track as one another, that's for sure. To be fair, when you saw everything they were doing at the outset, so you saw from the outset all the things of people falling over and all the things on the news right at the very start, when everyone was watching it thinking it's all completely legit and real. yeah, they didn't reflect the world, and same with the other. People aren't dropping down. I don't know anyone. I'm not saying that it won't happen, but I'm just saying that there's a game here afoot. We will see what happens. It's all a laugh and a joke. There's various different, various different bits and pieces that's going on all over the place, and it's pretty much similar across the board around the world. We will see what happens this month, and what happens next month, and what happens the month after that. It's all just kind of feel in a way that it's all just a giant mind fuck, basically. Just both sides are just trying to fuck your mind over. You've got the people going, it's not real, and the people going, it's real, and they're both kind of putting out the same information, which doesn't reflect on either sides of what I see. You've got the news saying, this deadly thing, deadly. I don't know anyone who's died. You've got the other side going, these people who are going to be inoculated, they're all going to die. Don't know anyone who's died. Both the same. Information that does not reflect what I see. Obviously there are elements of it with the food in the shops and the missing stuff, but I'm pretty certain that has actually been caused by the fact that they just haven't been renewing lorry drivers' licenses, and had the DSA or DVLA or whatever the fuck they're called that does it. If they had been issuing licenses and renewing licenses, then this wouldn't be a problem. So as they continue to not issue licenses or renew licenses, the problem gets worse, because as those people whose licenses expire and need a new one, can't get a new one, they can't drive. And the whole petrol shit, quite clearly, it's pretty fucking obvious. Not a lot of people driving, all locked down, hardly any traffic. I remember it from just going about my day-to-day business, being on motorway and seeing being the only car and seeing no other cars for nearly the entirety of the journey. So, lots of surplus fuel. They changed over the fuel, added more plant-based shit to cause farmers to stop growing food crops and grow biodiesel crops instead, because it's more profitable. So increase the need for that. Reduce the food, and get rid of it. Tell them all, oh no, there's no delivery drivers, there's shitloads of fuel but no delivery drivers. Yeah, there's shitloads of fuel because you've got a massive surplus of it that you need to get rid of. And it's all out of date to the new E10. So get them all out to the petrol stations, drain all the tanks, fill it all up with E10, and it's all solved. Though I do wonder what the E10 will do to a car. I wonder if it just slowly wears away at the engine, because if you wanted to get rid of all petrol and diesel vehicles by 2030, that's a lot of vehicles on the road that you need to get rid of, and you wouldn't just be able to. I mean, I know they'll do their thing where it's you must scrap your car by this time, blah 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 blah, what they've done previously in the past. But I'm sure if they could wear the engines or wear the fuel system, and go, it'd be too expensive to repair this, you may as well get an electric vehicle. type of situation. We'll see. That's my own little theory that I have of why upgrade it, because it's not it doesn't reduce any form of emissions. It just contains more biofuel rather than oil from the ground. Just smoking this. This is some of the Gen 4 that hasn't cured, so it's amazing. It's amazing how quickly it can run out. I would have thought that 3 plants would have lasted a lot longer, but I guess in reality, though the buds might look quite tasty on the plant when they're growing, when they dry out, they shrink quite considerably. So what looks like quite a lot actually turns out to be not very much. I don't know. We're continuing to learn how to grow bigger and better plants. And be thankful that each season that we've tried, we've had plants across the line, be that a little or be that a lot. Still be thankful for the chance to be able to do it. I won't be able to do it forever. Eventually we'll grow old and not be able to lift and move around so easily. That's why you spend your life trying to figure out easier ways to do things. And when you're young, use all brute strength and force, because you can. But as you get older, you have to get wiser to the things that you do, as your strength fades. I don't know. Oh, cheers. Well, it carries on. It's nice, it's quite smooth smoke. It's quite a hashy taste. It's a sativa, so it's not like a skunk or anything like that. It smells more like, I guess, old-fashioned weed. It tastes smooth. Doesn't taste of hay anymore, like previous seasons. And got almost a blackjack aftertaste. But very mild licorice, very like the blackjack that you had, I don't know, half an hour ago. And from those 3 plants, which weren't particularly grand, I think I'm hoping that from the rest of it, we will be able to fill up the rest of the jars, and hopefully have to buy some additional jars for the rest of the photo periods growing out in the yard. We've got the Orange Hill special photo period, and also the Skywalker Haze photo period. They're still growing. And I've got Yoda Medi seeds, DFGs, the guava, the Lucky 7. But yeah, next season we'll grow them out properly. They've done really well. They've grown about the size of a large auto, bearing in mind their photo periods, so they grow larger than an auto. And they look really pretty. I think it's a Lucky 7. I didn't have a pot for it, so I left it in a 1 litre pot, and all the pistils have gone like vivid pink. I'm starting to get there. I think they've got like mid-October before they'll be ready to harvest, so more than likely shortly after I clear out the box from the previous plants dry, those ones will go in there to dry, and then let it just stew in its own juices to get rid of the last bits of the chlorophyll that might be in there. Should be good. The craziness of the world goes by. What will happen and what won't? It's anyone's guess. All I know is that a prophet is someone who prophesies or foresees what's going to happen in the future. So, farseer, prophet, predicting what they've either seen in dreams and visions or however they've come across it, but they've made a prediction for the future as to what will happen. And in those last days there shall be many false prophets, and they shall have a form of godliness, meaning they have a form of godliness about them, but they'll deny the power therein. I wonder what that might be. Denying of the power therein. Imagine that would be the man from Galilee, the sacrifice that was made, the denying of the power. But they'll still have a form of godliness, and with their false prophecies they will deceive many. So I see a lot of people telling a lot of stuff about what's going to happen in the future, having some kind of quasi-belief in the Creator, but deny the power, and they do deceive many, and I have been deceived myself a fair few times, more times than I like to admit, but we are all human and we get deceived. I certainly, of my personal thing, will not be accepting any inoculations. I am fine, thanks, and I will go about my business until the day I die, according to the Lord, and by His will. And if it is His grace, then things will happen or won't happen. Such it will be. I did have something to say about the care, because I was talking about isolating of the doodad, the SARS-CoV, and said, but can I trap Jesus in a cage? No, I can't. Can anyone? And that would be why I said it's a belief, because if you a unicorn is a belief. I believe in unicorns. You'd say the same thing to me. You believe in a unicorn? Oh, you have to figure it out yourself. Nothing that I say or do could ever make you believe. You have to find that yourself. There's lots of things that can help you, and lots of things that can show you, but ultimately it all boils down to your own beliefs. But obviously it still applies to do you believe it to be real? I don't see it at all. So I'll go off what I can see, even though even my eyes can deceive me. But I'll go off what I can see compared to what I hear and make judgments according to what is good rather than what is evil. But yeah, still a belief. Though the evidence is all here in front of us every day. Anyway, nonetheless, I shall carry on with this walk. So I get a bit further down and get onto a road. So now, anyway, until next time, it's UKFN Ninja. I'll speak to you all later.